who have been in opposition to long-sitting government have normally been suppressed, sometimes outlawed. Those entities go underground and organize to survive, and it is this very organization that puts them in a favorable position as they come to the surface and as change takes place. This brings me to the subject of Iran, and more specifically, what messages might have been received in Tehran relative to the Arab Spring. My observations are the result of almost pure conjecture, since, as I am certain each of you is very aware, that our ability to see and understand the decision-making process in Iran is opaque at best. And this process is influenced by internal dynamics that are not fully understood. What is clear, however, is the Islamic Revolution in Iran has failed to deliver on its promises of prominence and prosperity. It's also clear that Iran is in the midst of political transition, which is likely to manifest itself as Iran approaches the next round of national elections. What then might the messages that were received in Tehran be this spring? The first seems obvious, that being the power of social media and the Internet. The control of Internet service providers is already in place. The government of Iran also enjoys the control of both response and responder. The Islamic Republic seems to have created for itself a permanent state of emergency or crisis. Iran's civilian leadership has regularly used the IRGC and other agents to suppress domestic opposition, yet civilian institutions, which in many other states restrain the power of the military, are too weak to do so in Iran. The result has been a steady increase in the power of the IRGC, and the IRGC seems ready to impose a very high price upon society in order to achieve its goals, goals which are frequently not in sync with those of the Iranian people. And while the IRGC has increased in power, the Western governments tend to negotiate, if they choose to do so at all, with civilian politicians who are incapable of delivering. The net result is a bolder and a more assertive Iran, challenging U.S. and regional interests in an effort to gain recognition as a dominant power in the region and simultaneously seeking to exclude the influence of foreign powers. Recent U.S. policy response to the threat of Iran has been consistently inconsistent. The Iranians will continue to test the U.S. and allied red lines, and the U.S. will continue to try to contain and deter. And the only thing that might change that dangerously balanced equation is the Arab Spring of 2012. What then about Camp Ashraf? In 2003, as the 5th Corps commander in Iraq, I had the responsibility for security of the northern portion of the country. At the time, we saw no evidence that the MEK should be listed as a terrorist organization. Therefore, we negotiated their disarmament and provided for their protection, not as terrorists, but as a military organization. My expectation at the time was that delisting would occur and the occupants of Camp Ashraf would gain the refugee status that they deserve. Over 8 years, nothing has changed except the urgency of the issue. Delisting is the right thing to do and needs to occur immediately, without which no progress can be made, nor any pending humanitarian disaster averted. Thank you very much.